All right. Well, hey everybody. How are all of you doing once again on this wonderful day? I just wanted to welcome all of you back once again to yet another wonderful and amazing webinar presentation as brought to you by yours truly. So, just like I do with every single one of these that I do, before we go ahead and get into the real meat of this presentation right here, I'm just going to be taking just a brief minute or two just to introduce myself personally and just to talk about what my role is as part of the wonderful organization that I'm in and what exactly it is that I do to help all sorts of families and children with disabilities. So, with that being said, my name is Christopher Michael Regan, and I am the official youth advocate for the Family Network on Disabilities Parents of the Panhandle Information Network Department of the Northern Region of the state of Florida. So, pretty much what I do in this role as the F&D Pop and Youth Advocate is I get to travel to all of the different counties that are located within the northern region of the state of Florida. And what I do is I conduct various workshops, trainings, conferences, and many other forms of personal assistance that are primarily geared towards children, youth, and young adults with all different types of disabilities. And all these different topics and materials and discussions that I talk about with them are specially designed to help all of them learn more about how to become stronger, more effective self-advocates and to help them achieve greater levels of success and independence in their everyday lives. So, now that all of you out there know a little bit more about who I am personally and what my role is as part of the wonderful organization that I'm in, we can all go ahead and get the real meat of this new workshop started. So, this special workshop that I'm going to be talking with all of you about today is all about helping with homework. So today we're going to be discussing ideas and tips on how to help your child with homework, and we're going to identify some other learning tools and creative solutions that all of you can use with yourselves and others at home. So with that being said, the first thing that we have to do here is discover just exactly why homework is very important in the long run. And this is actually because that research has stated that quality homework actually has an impact on student achievement that is actually 3 times more important than a family's educational level, occupation, or income. And there are many different sections with regards to this. So the first element is all about preparation. So with this, we all know that homework is an extension of classroom assignments. So what is learned in class will need to be practiced at home for better retention. So homework is able to help students prepare for participation in classroom activities and assignments. So they're more likely to be able to keep up with what's being taught in class and know what to expect in a class lesson. So instead of hiding from the teacher, they're more likely to raise their hand and be ready to answer a question. So your child will know what books to bring home, what materials are needed to complete an assignment, and even how long they'll need to complete the assignment before its due date. So for this, they'll need to be able to plan, estimate time for preparation, and organize. Then the second element of this is new skills. So when people do their homework, they're practicing important life skills such as preparation and time management. So learning to make sure that everybody has the materials that they need, for example, textbooks or other instruments used in class in order to complete their homework is an integral part of planning and preparation. But also, they learn how to effectively manage their time for completing their homework, making sure their assignments are turned in at the time they're due, and all of these are different skills that they'll need as an adult in order to pay bills or any type of job, as time management is obviously an extremely important element for a job well done. Then the third part that we have here is study habits. So students who do their homework and do it well are actually able to function more effectively in the classroom. So learning how to study at a young age definitely helps to instill all of those practices throughout a child's life. So through high school, college, continuing education programs, or just in our own life experiences as adults, we will need to research, review, or evaluate something at some time. So knowing how to use resources such as libraries, reference materials, and the internet are learned study habits that will be one of our greatest assets as adults. Then the next one that we have is assessments. So this is primarily about reviewing and practicing what is learned in the classroom at home will actually be able to help to retain information that can later be found in tests, which can be extremely important for GPA. Then the final one that we have is self-discipline. So with this, not only will homework help all of you learn how to develop good study habits and attitudes about learning, it will also teach you about working independently. So basically, homework encourages self-discipline, responsibility, and a continued love of learning. So with all those elements now in our pocket, now we can move on to some surprising fun facts about homework and learning that maybe you don't know about yet. So the first one is that it actually takes about 21 days for something to become a habit. So with this, it's always a good idea to be consistent. So make sure that you or your child know that homework is to be done at a regular time, at a regular place, and every day. And this will go a long way towards helping to create and establish good, strong study habits. Then the next one is that it takes us a minimum of 3 times to hear or review something before it sticks. And with this, homework helps all of us better retain information at school so that we're able to use it when we get home. Then the next thing is that the National Parent-Teacher Association recommendations fall in line with general guidelines suggested by researcher Harris Cooper. So this establishes basically an overall foundation for 10 to 20 minutes per night of homework in the first grade with an additional 10 minutes per grade level added thereafter. So for example, we have 20 minutes for second grade, 30 minutes for third grade, and then so on and so forth, which culminates in the 12th grade of being 120 minutes total of homework or a full 2 hours. So just a quick disclaimer, high school students may sometimes do more depending on what individual classes they take. But this information is basically just a general benchmark and foundation for homework per increasing grade level. So basically, based on this general rule, this means that a senior in high school should have approximately a full 2 hours a day or 120 minutes on homework. So with all this in mind, now we have to ask ourselves, is this actually happening? So because there can be a number of different things that can actually take away from homework time that could prove more valuable in the future. So for example, you could have maybe screen time, other playtime, texting, and non-school related internet surfing can sometimes rank ahead of homework in people's minds. So, these activities, might be, important for socialization skills, exercise, and communication building, but they're not really strengthening critical thinking skills and other valuable skills the way that homework can. And then also, it's a good idea to probably not bombard your child's schedule with an excessive amount of extracurricular activities after school, because this can interfere with the much needed time for studying and completing homework assignments. So the next thing is that sometimes, even though people might not want to do homework, that can actually be when they become their most creative with actually completing the assignments. So sometimes being able to learn and share ideas with different groups of parents and educators can actually be a really good idea to learn about, maybe other possible excuses that people might have for not doing their homework. So with this in mind, we can identify some of the problems that can prevent, some people from doing their homework and being able to come up with solutions. So the first thing that we have is learning style. So everybody has their own unique style of learning. So how you interpret information and how you prefer to learn is going to drive your learning experience going forward. So this will actually end up helping with the different types of tools that you can use and what activities will help you and others learn how to develop the interest in doing homework that can eventually grow into lifelong healthy study habits. Then the next one that we have is strengths. So what type of homework do you like doing the most? Is it things like spelling, math, other different reports? So if you're able to know your own interests and strengths, then you can help yourself and others with how they're completing their homework to make it more interesting to them. So for example, if you prefer research-based assignments, then maybe every assignment that you have to do can have maybe an element of research to it. Then the next area is the areas of need. So with this, you can identify the type of homework that particularly that you might struggle with the most. So perhaps, is it math or science or reading? So for example, if somebody has maybe difficulties with history homework, then a possible solution for this is you can actually, find similar historical content, like maybe historical-based movies or documentaries, and you can watch it together, because especially if you're a visual learner, because this can actually go a long way to help cement the information better in your mind and make it more attractive and accessible. Then the next thing that we have is finally planning. So based on your collection of information on yourself and your child's problem areas and solutions, you can develop your own unique individual plan for yourselves. So you can keep reminder notes for yourself, to keep pens, paper, or poster boards on hand, and other materials and other valuables that might be extremely valuable to yourselves or your children. So how can parents help with homework? That's the next big question. So with this, for communication, you can first establish a good working relationship with the teacher. And you can decide on the best way to communicate regularly so that everybody is aware of all assignments, needed supplies, test days, and strategies that are going to be used in the classroom. So this will actually make it easier for you to prepare things at home. And if your school district has a communication or parent portal, be sure to become a member of this website. So with this, you'll be able to keep track of assignments, assessments, and other school grades. Then the next thing is some additional ground rules. So establish rules at home that everybody must follow. So, resist doing your homework if they feel that they can't do it, and stress the importance that, all family members must respect the need for private study time, designated supplies, as well as other homework study locations. So the next thing is you can actually create a special homework setting exclusively for homework. So you can create a homework sign and designate a specific time and homework zone for yourself and your child. So make sure that the homework zone is equipped with everything that they need to study. So this could be something as easy as a table in the kitchen that is set up just for study purposes, and you can check items off a special to-do list that you can create to make sure that everybody is on the right track. Then the next thing is being able to explore together. So there might be times when we don't know the homework content, or maybe have the individual formulas to help our children solve mathematical problems. So that's okay, because there's many different assignments that we might not know how to help with yet. But with open communication with the teacher, you can easily request help with resources or other tips on how to complete the assignment. So also visiting the library or researching the internet are both wonderful resources of information and would be great help with discovering and learning new things together. Then now we move on to additional research impacts. So your own individual senses, which include things like smell, hearing, touching, and tasting, have a really strong definitive impact on learning and remembering. So a 2005 study published in Psychology of Music actually found out that workers who listen to music while working have higher productivity than those who didn't. So the study's authors speculate that this could be because music boosts mood, which improves motivation. So particularly among students who are struggling to remain motivated to complete their work, music might provide a distraction from the stress and exhaustion of studying and inspire them to keep at it. So it can also, this can be definitely a valuable way to keep others motivated. And there's also additional things that maybe might help them learn additionally, such as, having specific toys that they can play with while they're doing their homework, and also, allowing them to move around while possibly thinking of different ideas. So all of these can be other additional means that might keep them motivated and inspired to keep at it when otherwise they might not be feeling that way. So with all that being said, all of these tips and strategies can be extremely helpful for helping yourselves and your loved ones be able to develop stronger, more effective homework study habits and have a much greater chance of learning the material and succeeding when it comes to school and other grades like that. So I just wanted to thank you all again so much for being a part of yet another wonderful and amazing webinar presentation. Real quick, before I go, I just wanted to encourage all of you out there, if you have any questions about anything at all, then you can actually reach out to me directly through my email and phone number. So my email is chris@fndfl.org, and my phone numbers are 904-347-6961 and 904-377-8951. Then finally, I'd also like to encourage all of you to check out our official website at www.fndusa.org. And all of these services and information on our website is completely free of charge to anybody who visits. So once there, you'll be able to access our huge library of databases and information, especially our proprietary in-house booklets, tip sheets, brochures, and our special online learning platform called FND University. So once again, all you have to do is go to www.fndusa.org, and all those resources and information will be available to all of you completely free of charge. So with that being said, thank you all again so much, and I hope that all these strategies and resources about homework will be able to help yourselves and your loved ones develop stronger, more effective study habits. So thank you all again so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your time. Take care, and I'll see you all again in the future. Thanks again so much, everybody.